Alright, what's up everybody? It's the Casual Fan back for another video. Today in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL this past season. This is going to be a very heated list. It's going to be very controversial, lots of hot takes, so just be ready. But anyways, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe down below for more NFL videos all offseason long, covering the draft, covering also the NBA playoffs, March Madness, and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be here all season. Get right into this thing. Fair warning, I'm going to be doing this list a little bit differently than other people do their rankings. I'm going to be actually starting off this list at number 1, and I'm going to be going down to number 10. Mostly because a lot of people expect the same people at number 3, which is obviously Rodgers, Mahomes, and Allen. So I'm going to start off with that, and then, trust me, number 8 through 9 through 10 to 11 gets very, very heated, so I'm going to save that for the end of the video. But starting off at number 1, Aaron Rodgers, the bad man. I don't care what anyone says. Look, I understand he might not have gotten it done in the playoffs, but he has won 2 back-to-back MVPs, and people still aren't calling him the best in the league. That's kind of weird. He's been having the best passer rating in the NFL. He has the best touchdown-to-interception ratio. He racked up a total of 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns, only 4 picks. I mean, this guy is absolutely insane. Now, people like to say, oh yeah, he choked in the playoffs. That is called recency bias. If you really want to say that, every quarterback has had a bad game. Patrick Mahomes absolutely choked in the second half versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Josh Allen had that terrible game against Josh Allen on the Jaguars. He lost to the Jaguars. Like, what? Like, you know? I mean, every quarterback has that game. And this was that game for Aaron Rodgers. He didn't really get it done against San Fran. It happens. I still trust him with the ball more than I trust any other quarterback. I think he's number 1. Call me recently biased, but you know what? It is what it is. At number 2, I have the man who's getting paid $500 million in Kansas City. I don't think I have to do much explaining here, but I have Patrick Mahomes. I think this guy fascinates us almost every single week with his fascinating throws, his electric ability. I mean, his ability to escape the pocket and makes the throws that he makes is absolutely insane. I mean, I can't wait to see how many more rings he's going to win, because he's going to win more Kansas City. And obviously, you know, you guys had a disappointing end to the season, but I still truly believe that, you know, you guys have a lot, and I mean a lot more bright years in your guys' future with Patrick Mahomes. Number 3, I have yet again one of the most electrifying young quarterbacks in the NFL. His name is Josh Allen. I think we've seen probably the best, game ever. Literally just because of this guy right here, Josh Allen, in the divisional round against the Chiefs, and I cannot wait to see what he does. There are haters and doubters out there and critics who says that he can't really throw accurately, and he's been proving them wrong. This guy's throws this year have been absolutely insane. Go watch them if you haven't, because this guy has been showing out this year, and I think he's going to come back like a man on a mission next year, so it's going to be very fun to watch. Number 4, since this is last year's season's list, I have Tom Brady. Look, this guy literally retired in his prime. He led the league in passing touchdowns. He led the league in passing yards. Some people say he should have won MVP. I don't really think so. I think Rodgers should have won it. But this guy literally balled out all season long. I don't even think he's done, if I'm being honest. I think he's going to come back after a year or two. Probably going to give it a shot at another Super Bowl run. But this guy's longevity is absolutely insane. He's the GOAT. I don't even think there's a debate there. But I have Tom Brady at number 4. At number 5, I think this guy literally eats pressure for breakfast. Another one of the young studs in the AFC. I mean, the AFC is literally loaded with young quarterback talent. I have Justin Herbert. Look, this was like, okay, my reaction to his final drive in Las Vegas, and I know everybody talks about this, was literally this right here. This was my face. Literally, as I saw him strike that final touchdown with 0 seconds left on the clock, I was like, there's no way that just happened. Like, there's no way. Like, I was watching it on TV, and I just pulled out my phone, and I took a picture of my face as like my jaw dropped. I was like, yeah, this kid's absolutely insane. His throws, his arm, I mean, I can't even wrap my head around it. This guy's an absolute stud, and he is so much better now than what he was in Oregon. Like, this kid is going to tear the league apart, and he's going to make, like, I'm telling you, in a couple of years, he's going to make Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen feel a little smaller than what they actually are. So I have Justin Herbert at number 5. I think it was a top 5 quarterback just barely last year, but this kid's potential is through the roof. Just barely squeezing out of the top 5, I have Matthew Stafford. Now, look, I like Matthew Stafford, and now that Tom Brady's retired, Matthew Stafford's in the top 5, and I think he had an amazing season, don't get me wrong. I think he's still a great quarterback, obviously leading his team to the Super Bowl, but there's nothing that I can say about Matthew Stafford or a quality of him that's like, okay, he does this better than any other quarterback in the NFL. Because, like I said, I think he's a great leader. I think he's good at a lot of things, but sometimes he can be a little iffy, throwing interceptions, all that kind of stuff. But I think he's a great facilitator, and he overall just leads that Rams offense very, very well. And at number 7, I have the man who had the biggest jump in the NFL this year. And he goes by 7 different names, and one of those names is Joe Burrow. Look, this guy, who could guess that this guy right here would have led his team to the Super Bowl before the season started? I don't even think the Bengals fans predicted that, but look, here he is. He's the guy who just doesn't care what you have to say about him, but he's just going to go out there and deliver to his team. And that's what I love about him, because he has the highest confidence out of any quarterback that I think I've ever seen. His confidence is absolutely insane. And Bengals fans, you guys got yourselves not only a franchise quarterback, but I think a future Hall of Fame quarterback right here in Joe Burrow. So I'm very excited to see what he's going to do in the future, and I have him at number 7. This is where it starts getting a little bit interesting for me and kind of controversial, but I have Russell Wilson. Now, look, he's had an iffy season with his finger injury and some injuries back and forth and inconsistent play, but regardless of what anyone says, I still think he has the best deep ball in the league. And towards the end of the season, down the stretch, he was getting some really, really good wins, even though it wasn't mattering for his team because, the Seahawks weren't that good. Against the Cardinals, he put up 3 touchdowns, a 110 rating, and also kind of ruined the Cardinals' chances of winning their division. He obviously balled out against the Lions. It doesn't really mean much, but, you're looking at his numbers down the stretch. He was absolutely balling out. And Russell Wilson, I still think he's at number 8, but, I think it's going to be much higher next year. For 9, I don't understand how people are not putting this guy in their top 10, but I have Dak Prescott. Look, yes, I understand he's on the Cowboys, and a lot of people love to hate on the Cowboys for fun. And look, he is not the reason why the Cowboys got eliminated in the first round. It's because of Mike McCarthy. I don't know why you called a QB draw on the last play of the game. That was absolutely horrendous. But either way, Dak Prescott in general, comeback player of the year nomination. He had an insane story coming back in general. I think Dak Prescott can do a little bit of everything, but at the same time, I still think he needs to get better in some areas. He's a mobile quarterback. He's a strong quarterback. He has a good arm. Sometimes he can make some iffy interceptions that are like, who is that to? And most importantly of all, I think he's an amazing leader. So I'm excited to see how the Cowboys are going to improve. I don't know about y'all, but it's getting kind of hot in here, and that's because I have a hot take. It's that Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. This past year, there was no other quarterback who faced adversity like how Derek Carr did, and how he handled it. Like, half of his roster went in jail. John Gruden got fired because of a bunch of racist emails. He had to deal with an intern head coach, a shitty offensive coordinator. Hunter Henry was his best receiver to throw to, which is not bad at all, actually, by the way, but Hunter Henry being your best receiver is not that good at the same time. Darren Waller was injured for like half the year. And, it was just a lot of inconsistency and a lot of struggle with that Las Vegas Raiders team. And the fact that he managed to carry them to the playoffs, he literally carried them to the playoffs. And his stats were also on another level. He threw for nearly 5,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, and a 94 QB rating the entire year. Derek Carr absolutely carried his team. Imagine if the Raiders didn't have Derek Carr. They would have been probably a top 10 draft pick in this year's draft. But instead, he gave them a playoff berth. Now, I have 2 honorable mentions. First of all, I have Kyler Murray. Here's the thing with Kyler Murray at number 11. Kyler Murray started off the season extremely strong. He was the leading MVP candidate for the first 3-4 weeks. And then I'm not going to lie, he kind of fell off of a cliff. Something that Kyler Murray struggles with is just knowing when to get rid of the ball, kind of throwing it away. He really hesitated whenever he didn't have DeAndre Hopkins anymore. You kind of have to learn how to play without your number 1 receiver, and that's what these top-tier quarterbacks do. And some of the throws that he was making, like how he threw that pick 6, how he was launching it like this against the Rams. Like that was just really whack. But I still think Kyler Murray has a lot of potential, but he just needs to stay consistent. And lastly, at number 12, I have Lamar Jackson. Now, look, this guy right here, he can easily be number 1 if he wants to. But the thing is, ever since his MVP season, he still was on an elite level, but he's kind of been declining. And like, he still was on an MVP level. He had some insane games this year, but then he kind of started going down. He threw 4 interceptions against the Browns. He was playing very inconsistent, and he kind of looked like he just forgot how to throw the ball. But and it kind of felt like teams were figuring him out at the same time. So I think he's going to be good next year. I think he's going to be all ready to go. I'm not saying teams have figured out Lamar Jackson, because I still think he's a very, very talented quarterback. But right now, I think he still needs to prove himself for him to be in the top 10. With Tom Brady retiring, he's at 11th right now. So, like I said, this guy can easily be number 1. He can easily be top 5. But right now, I have Lamar Jackson at number. That is my list for my top 10 quarterbacks in this past NFL season. Stick around for more NFL and NBA videos coming on this channel, along with, following my TikTok. It's down in the link below in the description. I post pretty often clips in the studio of me saying NBA and NFL hot takes. But I'm off for now. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next.